Hi everyone, Martin here from martinsmayhem.blogspot.com. I hope you are well. So today's card is going to be this super fun and bright card using the Amazing Life stamp set. And as you can see, there's so many fun sentiments, bold graphic images. I love it. So, shall we get started? Now, it's up to you. There's two ways you can create this fun little motif with the sentiment. You can either stamp it on all the cards several times using your stamp apparatus, getting it all lined up, and then you're going to cut that centimetre strips just like I have, or you could do it the little bit more complicated way, but the way I prefer, and cut out centimetre strips of each coloured card like so, and line them up so it creates one sheet, and then you can just stamp it down. Okay, so I've attached this with just some washi tape, as you can see, and that's going to be secure enough for me to stamp on. So with this card, the best bit about doing it this way, I find, is you can get lots onto one. So I know I can at least get two. Where's the stamp? Bring it in. So I know I can fit one there. Can possibly do one there. So I know I can do two comfortably, possibly three at a push. Okay? So the colours we are using are all from the Brights collection. The Brights collection is on page 185 of the annual catalogue. Let's bring this in here so you can see all the colours there. So Poppy Parade, Mellow Mango, Flirty Flamingo, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point. Because this stamp it doesn't even measure 9 centimetres, so I didn't want to do 10 strips and then there'd be so much excess either end of a whole colour basically. So I've just missed Gorgeous Grape off. I'm sorry, it's not personal, but just missed it off. I have included it in the final card when stamping, as you can see, with the little dots. So that is something we can look at later. However, I've just chosen all of these and I've laid it out in that colour order, which is brilliant. Thank you, Stampin Up, for creating that rainbow. So it saves me thinking about, oh, should this one go here or this one here? So let's move the catalogue out of the way and let's get stamping. So with this technique, you will want to apply your embossing buddy down generously, however you like, or wherever you like. I'm doing it everywhere because I can make multiple of these cards quite easily. That's the wrong ink. So I'm going to bring in my Versamark ink up my stamp like so. And then finding the position where I want it, like so, just stamp it down. So I'm working the stamp really well because I want a nice good impression across all of the layers. In my example you might see how, if we have a look at here, there's a little gap and that's just where I haven't stamped it well enough. So obviously this time I want to make sure I do it slightly better. So just inking this up again, taking it this side, making sure it's straight, stamp down, like so. And this is when you can kind of work out if you have enough room for 3. So I could actually fit a third one on there, like so, so why not do it? So just going to pop that down, being very mindful not to touch the card itself. because of that heat embossing, and I shouldn't have bothered because I haven't got a good impression on that third and final one. As you can see, it wasn't inked up enough, so it wasn't very good. But anyway, so I'm just grabbing my white embossing powder. Move this out of the way. I like to keep it all together still, so I'm literally just going to sprinkle this over like so. Still going to do this one because you never know, an issue might happen or something might go wrong. So I've got one spare ready to go. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And then that's just going to collect in there like so. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly tap all the excess off, more so because we've got all these layers is slightly behind and in between, so we just want to knock them off. And you can just grab a paintbrush, quickly just tidy this up like so. You can spend as long or as little as you want on it, and then all you're going to do is heat emboss it. Now normally I heat emboss from the back, but because it's attached to the sheet, I'm going to heat emboss from the front. Again, there's not really much difference. I much prefer it from the back because it gives a smoother emboss effect than it does from the front, as well as you're less likely to cause any yellowing by burning the embossing powder. So let's just get this on. And there's that all heat embossed and ready to go. So again, I probably wouldn't use this one because of how gappy it is and how unperfect it is. But this time it's actually turned out a lot better than the example itself. So there is a little bit of gap here, but then to be fair, it's not that noticeable. So I was happy to use it, but I probably wouldn't be happy to use this one here. So again, just have a look, see what you're happy to use. So I'm going to move it out of the way. Bring back our example. The base of the card itself is a standard C6, and that's just using thick whisper white cardstock. Again, I've already got all our little bits pre-done. So this is from my other example, or the other half of this project. So I can just line these up. Then it's one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And how I laid my first one down was quite simply with a ruler, which I have Right, yeah, I haven't misplaced it, don't worry. Not my usual self. So all I'm going to do is take the middle Daffodil Delights, checking on over now, and I'm just going to cut this down ever so slightly, and this is going to be the widest part of our motif. I'm taking the scraps off to one side. So this is going to be towards the centre of our card, or upper centre of our card. So I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back, just some mini ones. One either end and one in the middle. And then I'm just going to grab my ruler, lie my card base down, that's stuck to my fingers now, and just line it up with my grid paper, find a point in which you want the middle to be. So I'm just going to go here. I know it's straight because I've lined it up on my edge, and this is the centre point that I'm choosing. Line the ruler up, and then you could even do it this way, so you can work out how many centimetres are either side, and just pop that down so very straight. Okay, and from here you don't need to line any others up, you just need to line up the pattern. So again, just cut this down slightly. Try to keep it even either side. Add some of the dimensionals onto the back. With the wider ones, I'm still going to keep it with 3, just so it's super secure. And then you're just going to find where the pattern lines are and secure it down. It's that simple. And you're just going to repeat this for each of our layers. So again, just lining it up. Like so. I think sometimes we forget to be playful with our card making, and we can become quite regimented, which I try to avoid. So you might notice that I don't like squares or boxes. Like, I know this is quite box, like it's just box, or I consider it a box, but in effect it's used in a way that's free. So it's just finding a style, and what you like. You might like to have it quite regimented and quite boxy, and that's perfectly fine. It's just a point of preference, but have fun with it as well. Like, use colour. I don't use colour a lot, I know I don't. I quite like having my quite bland, boring cards. Well, not boring, but you know what I mean. Monochrome cards, which I don't deem boring. I quite like them. However, some people might out there deem them boring, which I wouldn't blame them. So with this bit, I am just going to kind of line this up with this one, just so I kind of keep it somewhat aligned in sizes. Dimensionals. If you were watching, you'd know that I have my concentration face on. Does anybody else have a specific face that they tend to pull when they are card making? Does anybody else talk to themselves when they're card making like me right now? Because nobody else is here. You're obviously watching in the future. Hi future people. My mad ramblings, I'm so sorry. Let's just keep lining it up. Last but not least, the Poppy Parade. Just going to cut down like so. And pop one on the back. And there you have the focal point of the card done. So obviously that is just the focal part. We're doing a lot more to the card, which I'm going to take a seat for, as we are going to be doing some colouring with some blends, which we're going to start with first. So I have already taken the cute little flower stamp and stamped it twice in memento ink even, and I'm just going to ink it up just so you can see and just stamp it down like so. It's that simple. So because we're using the blends, I would only ever recommend you using Momentum ink. Don't use StazOn because it would bleed out. So for the leaves I'm using Granny Apple Green, light and dark. So starting with the light, I'm just going to colour in the leaf like so. If you don't feel confident in using blends, then you can just leave it with one colour. That's absolutely fine. However, I always like to add a little bit of shade in, just so it's got a little something else going on. And then I'll just blend that out with the light one. I do have a video available on how to use, or how I use blends. It's completely individual. There's no right way or no wrong way. It's completely individual, but there is a way in which I use it. So if you wanted to, you can pop along to that. I will link to it in the description bar below. And for the other colours, or for the main flower, I'm using 3 colours: Light Daffodil Delight, Dark Daffodil Delight, and Dark Mango Melody. So again, always starting with light first. Just lay a base down, like so. Then you're going to go for your mid-tone, which is obviously the dark. And as you can see, I'm just working out from the centre and then going into the darkest tone, just a teeny tiny bit in the middle, like so. And then just to finish, blend it all out. like so. So that's our flowers done. You're literally just going to quickly want to fussy cut them out. So with fussy cutting, always move the card, never your scissors, and that way you get a nice smooth edge. If you were to move the scissors, you might know that you get a jagged effect or a less smooth. So literally just quickly run that round. I also think it's quicker when moving the card because you're not having to start and stop all the time. And you get one almost continuous line. And actually it was an art teacher who told me to move the paper rather than anything else. So just cut this bit down. Let's move that off to the edge. And again, just quickly fussy cutting that out. Like so. So then we're going to finish off the card finally with a little bit of stamping. And I say a little bit, we're using every single colour in the Brights collection. So that's obviously 10 in total. And how I did mine was I did it in reverse. So it's going to be Pacific Point at the top, ending in Poppy Parade. But I'm missing out the Daffodil Delight, and that's just because it'd end up on its own, and that's not how I wanted it to look. So in fact we're using 9 out of the 10 colours. My apologies. So bringing in my Pacific Point, I'm just going to ink up this little, I think it looks like a water burst, and I'm just going to stamp that there. And then I've got my cleaner just to one side just so I can quickly clean it. Then grab the next colour, which is Bermuda Bay. Ink that then that's going to go the opposite side, so I can see, like so. Clean the stamp. Then Costa Cabana. Does anybody else want to sing that song by, it's not Lionel Richie. Her name was Lola, she was a showgirl. That one, because that's what it reminds me of. So that's just going to go there. Again, clean the stamp. Then Granny Apple Green. And that's going to go here. Clean the stamp. So again, as I said, we're skipping Daffodil Delight and moving straight on to Mango Melody. Now I'm going to flip the card back around. And that's just going to go opposite side. Clean the stamp. So obviously this isn't required, you can leave it off, you could add rhinestones or pearls instead, it's completely up to you. However, I thought the card needed something a little bit more, and this is what I did, and I don't mind it. Oh no, it's alright. And then finally, or two more, Mango Melody. Haven't cleaned my stamp. On this side here. And now finally, Poppy Parade. Just gonna go here. So just to finish, I'm going to take these 3 little dots and randomly pop them around the design, just to incorporate Gorgeous Grape. Because let's face it, we love the colour, why should it miss out? Okay. And then with our dimensionals, pop this down. And just secure them into place. Like so. And there you have today's card. I hope you enjoyed today's card. While you're here, why not like, comment and subscribe to my channel? And why not share to your social media, where everybody can see how quick and easy it is to make such a pretty card. And why not, while you're down there, have a look at all the items used and links to my online shop where you can purchase them. Thank you, bye.